The Secret of Daily Health and Positive Energy, written by a monthly student. Happiness is the meaning, purpose, and goal of life, and it is the aspiration of every human being. Happiness is a concept, just a goal. We all aspire to achieve it, either through toil and hardship, or through money and wealth. We will learn about happiness as an academic course taught at Harvard University. We will discuss the relationship between happiness and learning, and we will touch on happiness at work. Dear listener, this episode may not seem like a new phenomenon, but it will remain as long as life remains on Earth, so do not listen to it to become the owner of a successful project, or to assume a high leadership position by listening to it to reveal the secrets of the happiness of some and the misery of others. Happiness is a meaningful life. Happiness is aspirational and coveted. All human beings, it is an abstract concept, and a goal that everyone aspires to achieve either through toil and hardship, or money and wealth, or laughter and singing. Studies indicate that happy people are those who are successful in all areas of life, in marriage and friendship, in achieving wealth, and in the workplace. It has been shown that the relationship between happiness and success is reciprocal. Just as success leads to happiness, happiness leads to success. The essence of happiness is the feeling of the meaning of life. Happy people are necessarily positive and have clear goals. This definition is not limited to a specific moment, but can be generalized to the totality of experiences that a person goes through during his search for happiness, even if this search includes painful experiences or moments. A person may endure temporary pain with patience, while with a desire to achieve lasting happiness, such as the student enduring the hardships of study and research in order to obtain high grades, while pleasure is momentary happiness. It quickly disappears regardless of its causes. Pleasure emotion controls all our endeavors, including the pursuit of happiness. We cannot imagine our life being devoid of emotion, and your words become a robot that moves without a soul or feelings. Robots do not seek the pleasure of rest after long days of work, because they do not get tired while humans get bored, and they tend to change their reality, because they realize the goal and the truth of the end. And they try to enjoy every moment of their life. They will innovate and innovate. However, emotion alone is not enough to achieve absolute happiness, because the fleeting self that emerges from the flow of emotion does not lead to that. A person must go through an experience that deeply saturates his emotions, mind, and soul, but this does not mean that our lives must end in pain in order for us to achieve happiness. Therefore, continued pain may lead to the fading of the creative energies within us as human beings. The meaning, man, is the creator of the meaning of his life, and that is why the meanings differ depending on the personalities, but the most important thing is that man's goals do not conflict with lofty values and principles, in order to satisfy the vanity of a group of weak souls. It is better for you to escape the death trap of conscience than to live a life of greed, to keep up with the rhythm of life. Age. Success and happiness. We must not overlook the role of the drive towards success and commitment to achieving it in shaping the experience of happiness. Without commitment to study and achievement, no one would succeed, and no employee would receive a promotion or a bonus. However, this does not mean that a person turns to his family, working nonstop, making him lose fatigue and exhaustion. Feeling happy by investing his energy in activities that are consistent with his personality and abilities, in order to achieve lasting happiness, not a fleeting self. Happiness is a currency that never loses its value. The success of projects is measured by the profits they achieve and the money they bring in, and anything can be translated into the language of numbers, given that money is the most successful criterion in describing the actual value of a good, service, etc. However, among humans, they do not write in books or convert to numbers. Rather, they evaluate what they achieve in terms of fame, wealth, or power. However, there is no point in possessing all of these things if they are not accompanied by happiness and positive feelings. What kind of happiness will a sick rich man gain? Emotional bankruptcy? A person may succeed in amassing a lot of money without knowing that the money that fills his iron coffers is emptying his emotional coffers. During his search for wealth, he may forget to reach out to family and loved ones, which causes him to lose warmth and belonging. From here arose the principle of contentment. An inexhaustible treasure. Whoever searches for money in material is like one who drinks from the salty sea water, never ceasing to be thirsty to infinity. Added to this fact is what we see in those whose lives have been filled with painful experiences, and they suffer from chronic depression that cannot be cured by medication or cured by wealth. Depression is not an individual disease, but may affect an entire society. The workaholic father is a person deprived of the joy of family warmth, and he is depressed, and his family may become depressed in turn, because they lack his care and affection. Thus, the vicious cycle of depression expands and spreads like wildfire. It is worth noting that societies that enjoy prosperity and technical progress suffer from emotional bankruptcy because their people are preoccupied with searching for money and indulging in material pleasures, and ignoring or not caring about the social, spiritual, and moral elements of life. The power of goals. Those who are able to define their goals are able to achieve success more than others. They enjoy effective control, which leads them to commitment and achievement, and thus to a prosperous future. But the goals vary in their importance and complexity. Psychologists believe that self-confidence and belief in the ability to achieve a goal help to imagine its occurrence and turn it into reality. It is customary for happiness and satisfaction to be associated with achieving goals, but researchers worked hard to ridicule this concept when they determined that the happiness that accompanies achieving a goal is short-lived, just like the frustration that accompanies not achieving it. Studies conducted on competition winners have proven that they quickly return to the psychological state they were in before their victory within a period not exceeding a month. This analysis applies to our daily activities, but even the activities that we love are not devoid of necessities. Some of us may love our profession, teaching, but hate the routine that comes with it. However, if the teacher turns a blind eye to the routine of his profession, he will reach a level of happiness, because he will see how his profession contributes to raising a generation of great people who will owe him loyalty. Express your feelings, and be human. Sadness is equal in everyone, as it is a human feeling that is familiar to everyone, just like stress and happiness, and when you deprive yourself of tasting those feelings, your life loses its meaning. Because there is no complete protection from what makes us miserable, psychologists advise us to give free rein to our feelings, so do not be ashamed of laughing or crying, because it is what fulfills your humanity. Happiness at work. Finding a job that suits a person's strengths is one of the most important challenges he faces. Under this context, man searched for the meaning of life and happiness, and felt the exhilaration of struggle. However, there are some external obstacles that may prevent you from leaving your current job and joining another that takes the meaning out of your life and gives you happiness. For example, you will not change your specialty, which generates income for you, in order to study medicine as it is a humanitarian profession, claiming that you are free to change your profession, because you can give the desired meaning by making more effort. To achieve what your superiors ask of you, and your customers expect from you. Happiness and relationships. When we find someone who shares our interests and shares our joys and sorrows, we feel that life has a deeper meaning and a more precious value. Our pain increases, and our positive feelings increase. However, although many people believe that successful and positive relationships are a source of happiness, they may bring misery to themselves for the purpose of performing their duty towards their life partners, not recognizing that sacrifice has another side, which is recovery. This category quickly fell due to being deprived of the positive return expected from the other party, the help the said wife expected to gain. When she forces herself to endure life with a tyrannical husband just because she sanctifies married life. Reflections on happiness. The first contemplation is the difference between understanding and giving and annihilation in it. Annette, happiness comes back empty. When you give happiness to others, you get the same amount of happiness, or perhaps more. Happiness is based on contentment and a feeling of self-worth, but do not sink into the spiral of self-denial and forget, while making others happy, to make yourself happy as well. Although a happy person is a giver, we cannot deny the fact that an unhappy person is stingy, as someone who lacks something does not give it. The second meditation, happiness and overcoming transitional periods. Happiness motivators help to overcome difficult transitional stages, especially those that arise from trying to quit drinking water. A rich, extravagant person cannot change his lifestyle to one that is more reasonable in his expenses, and this requires the gradual introduction of happiness motivators into his life, such as encouraging him to save, or developing a plan for retirement, which makes him feel the value of saving, and does not deprive him of the pleasure of spending money. The third plan is happiness without limits. There are no limits to the happiness that we would like to achieve. When we choose professions, relationships, and studies that strengthen our capabilities, we will reach lasting happiness that has no limits, and it will soon grow and take root within us, for the blessings of captivating it with permanent inner peace. Fourth meditation, we deserve happiness. There are many psychological factors and biases that conspire to prohibit the feeling of happiness, and here psychologists draw our attention to the importance of not giving in to fears of losing happiness, or to that feeling of not deserving it. Pal, and deserves punishment instead. This is what leads us to true unhappiness. The fifth conspiracy is the wisdom of traveling in time. Life is short, no matter how long, and precious, no matter how trivial. Even if you lived hundreds of years, gained thousands of experiences, and achieved all goals and objectives, you will wish that your years of life were doubled, especially if most of them were happy. Psychologists and sociologists have proven that happiness prolongs life. Meditation 6. Fuck the 80-20 rule. There is no magic formula for achieving absolute, struggle-free happiness. However, the more we simplify our lives, the more comfortable we become. Human beings have always sought to achieve many goals in a short period of time, which puts them in a constant race against time, a race they always lose. During your search for success and wealth, you may be in conflict with its validity, so you must find the best way to enjoy your life and achieve your goals at the same time. Seventh meditation. Wave of happiness. Happiness is not a material thing that we touch with our hands, in an abstract sense. We show it with our minds and feelings. Or questions we ask ourselves, we strive to find answers. Despite its simplicity in form, it is profound in theme. If individuals and societies understood the true concept and the human dimension of happiness, they would not also understand the meaning of peace, and the brutal wars that rage to seize and monopolize wealth would not stop. Happiness is aiming for a goal. Difficult is not achieved by reaching the goal, but by striving for it. Also, happiness is not concentrated in one thing. If we get it, we live in heaven, and if we lose it, we live in hell. In order to achieve happiness, we are forced to enjoy every happy moment in our lives, without thinking about what the coming days may hold for us. And to look at the overall picture without scrutinizing the details that make us exhausted. You will then become wiser, more insightful, and happier than the narrow-minded people who do not have patience or persevere until they achieve what they want. Now, do you know what makes you happy? You might say yes, but more likely you don't know. Dear listener, achieving lasting happiness requires enjoying your journey leading to your goal. Happiness does not lie in reaching the top of the mountain, but in the journey of ascent itself. In this regard, the English philosopher David says that people do not finish crafts, acquire antiques, commit inventions, enact legislation, publish science, or contemplate the stars except with the aim of achieving happiness. We wish you eternal happiness.